Hello everyone, my name is Kate. Welcome to my YouTube channel and let's teach a dog a place command. First thing you will need is you will need to have a leash and a dog bed. I recommend investing into elevated dog bed just because see how far away it is from the ground. It's more clear for the dog to understand where they are supposed to stay. Whether if you use a regular dog bed, like they can lay down and their paws can still be on the ground or half of their body can still be on the ground. So technically they are going to be in their dog bed, but just because the boundaries are not clear and it's not clear for them in what space they have to exist, they're going to be trying to kind of play you around and they are going to try to do it as lazy as they can. So if you have an ability to invest into the elevated dog bed, that's great. If you don't, a regular dog bed will work just fine. All that matters is the consistency and the concept. Also, the second thing, I would recommend that you would start inside of your home because it's the low destruction environment possible. And when we do introduce a new command, if you watched any of my videos, you know by now that we always start the command inside your home. So let's go ahead and start teaching your dog a place command. First step is you always put a leash on your dog, even though you start inside of your home. It doesn't matter, you should have a leash on just because the leash helps us to guide the dog, and also the leash helps us to be in control of our dogs. If dog decides to go and play with the toy or just to go do something else, they're not able to do this just because we are controlling them with the leash. And the first thing, you will put a dog bed somewhere in your living room, let's say, and you'll put a dog on a leash and you will start walking around this dog bed. Maya, come on. You may just start going in circles around the dog bed, or you can simply walk away from this dog bed and come back to it. So the goal for the first step will be just to put the dog onto this bed without naming the command yet and put them in a down position, and as soon as they are in a down position, you say yes and reward. And you might get into confusion over here and say like, well, my dog doesn't really want to go and lay down onto this dog bed, or they're not sure about this dog bed, or they don't really understand the cues, right? So when you just start, I would recommend that you normally when you start training your dog, you have a training pouch available, which is located behind you, or a regular pocket. As long as it's on the back, you can use your jeans, doesn't really matter. But when we start a new command and we're trying to help our dogs, it's completely normal in the very beginning to use the treat to lure them into the position that we need. So I will start walking away, right? I'm holding the treat in my hand. I go to the dog bed. I lure her. I say down and make sure when I yes and I reward. And make sure when you do reward your dog, you reward them close to the ground, so to avoid breaking the command. Because if you were to reward over here, look for her to get the treat. Come on, yes, get it. She would have to like she will have to like jump up a little. See, and you condition them accidentally to the down command, which looks like she goes down and then slightly up. So we do not want that. Okay, break. I release her. And then I lure her into position. Yes, good girl. And soon enough, you will no longer have to say down. They will start picking up on this command and things will get much easier. Break. So you do it over and over and over again, at least 12 to 15 times. And then when you feel confident enough that you no longer need to hold the treats in your hand, you move to the next step. Step number 2, I come to this bed, I point to this bed, I say down, yes. Then I reach back to my pocket and I reward. I say, she's chewing. Then I say, break. Good. So the step number 3 is when we start naming the command and create an association of this command with a certain word. In my case, it's place. So I will, as I said, I'll start walking away from the bed. I will come close to the bed. I'll say place, place, yes. Point with my finger. As soon as they are down, I mark it with yes. And then I reward. break. Let's do it again. Place. Yes, good girl. It's optional for each and every dog. It's going to be different. Some dogs will need some guidance with the finger. Some dogs will not. I'm showing pretty much kind of the very basic, like in case if you need to help your dog, you can do this, but your dog might not need it. So the finger is of course optional, and eventually we are going to try to move away from the finger, but if it's easier for your dog to understand in the beginning, use it to help them. Break. Good job. You practice it all over again until you're able to move away from this finger and just able to walk around this dog bed and say place. Yes. They are able to lay down. Break. You can also practice it from different angles, like place. Yes. Good girl. Break. Make sure you always release your dog with the release word you are using, just to avoid, I know you want to be in command because she wants to get rewarded. See, you're creating a pattern of good behavior, so that's good. But my point was then you want to be able to control the amount of time your dog spends in the command, so that's why we use a release word. Once again, if you watched my previous videos, you already know that I use a release word all the time. But if you are new to my channel, or if you are new to dog training in general, this is a good tip that when I started training my own dogs, because I didn't become a dog trainer, I learned everything first with my own dogs, and then I kind of got into that. And as a regular person, I remember that no one told me about the release word and the importance of the release word. So that's good to know and good to have. So then I had to kind of reteach my dogs and obviously fix the mistakes I made. So she's going to be staying here until she's released, right? Break. What are we doing next? So as we remember, we are still inside of the house, correct? So once you feel confident enough that your dog understands the command and you feel like you've practiced all those steps and up until the point where the dog is able to go to the place with no cues, right? So when your hands are down and they know place, yes, you're ready to move to the next step. And the next step will be removing the leash from your dog. We are going to be practicing almost the same thing, but with no leash. We're going to be walking around with our dog, and we are going to be increasing the distance from our dog bed. At first, when you remove the leash, you can just do 2 steps away from this dog bed and say place. Yes. Come back to your dog. Reward. And Maya, break. Good girl. And then you would want to increase the distance. At first, you might have to use your hand to kind of point to the bed and help them out. But as I said, eventually you would be able to just move away. So once you succeeded with 2 steps, you move away for 3 steps and say place. Yes, good girl. You come back and you reward and release my break. And then step by step you move further and further away, because ideally you would want to be in your kitchen, you know, you're cooking and your dog is like on the way, and you would want to be able to just tell them to go to their bed and they're going with no problem, right? So eventually you would want to practice it and increase the distance step by step. And once you practiced it enough times, you would be able to just say from anywhere you want, place. Yes. My break. And after you've done practicing inside of the house and you shaped it up to the point where your dog is able to go to their bed with no leash on, you can move outside and kind of also start step by step. First with the leash on, if you have the ability to practice it off leash, I don't know, on your backyard or somewhere else, I don't know, maybe you can go into the forest area. I have no idea, it depends on where you live and where you are able to practice this and how advanced your dog are. Of course, there are many ways to prove this command, to increase the distance in this command, to practice stay in this command, but this video is not about this. This video is a simple tutorial on how to teach your dog a place command, and that's what we are doing here. Just make sure you do everything step by step, and if you feel like, I don't know, you practiced a place command in a certain position enough times and you feel like you're ready to move to the next step, but on the next step you don't succeed, it's always good to move back, practice it like on the previous step a little bit more, and then move to the next step. Don't push through your dog because you might actually ruin the progress. Alright, I hope this video was helpful for you, and now you know how to teach your dog a place command. If you are confused with anything or need any guidance, please leave a comment under this video and I will be more than happy to help you navigate you through this process. Also, don't forget to download my free dog training guide with one of the most favorite exercises that I use for my dogs clients. It's completely free of charge. It's a great mental exercise for all type of dogs and extremely beneficial for your dog. I will leave a link on it also under the video. All you have to do is put your email and it will land straight into your inbox. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in the next videos. Bye. Bye! You were in your bed this whole time watching. I know. Okay, place. Yes, good job.